Greetings viewers, this is Monotone Maverick coming at you with another video. Today we are going to go over the third and final part in this Perfect Grade Strike Freedom Gundam review. Here I will fully assemble the figure along with giving my thoughts on it, the good, the bad, and the everything else in between. And finally I will give my opinion on if this is a kit worth getting. So without further ado, let's start assembling this figure. And here we have the fully assembled Perfect Grade Strike Freedom Gundam. The fully assembled Perfect Grade Strike Freedom Gundam, and the fact that I've done some custom work on this, the titanium gold, just make this kit stand out. I'm satisfied with this. I really am. Not just by like what I've done with it, but just everything all together. Even with some other gold parts that you can see behind the knees, and even the elbows. The gold that came with this kit that actually makes it stand out. So the fact that this has so many shades of gold, not just with the kit came, that the shade of gold, the ones that's sticking out, that gloss color, even the ones that I painted, and even those stickers that's on the Dragoons, right here, all that gold is just sticking out, and I'm just enjoying it. I just love this. I can't think of any other Gundam that has this much gold to it, even in this inner frame. If you do know, please comment down below. But I'm just really satisfied the way how this is. I knew this was going to be a little bit of a challenge, and I know it's going to be a little bit time consuming too to just get that custom paint going, to assemble this. And you know what, I'm just very astounded, very happy with the way how this looks. That alone, I just also want to say about like proportion wise, I mentioned before, I thought the backpack, the Dragoons, the jet, whatever you want to like to call it, the wings, I'm really surprised that this is not as back heavy as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to fall off quite easily, but no, it is really steady. It is stable, which is a really big plus. I would say mainly many perfect grids that I know of have been very stable, not back heavy, nothing of the sort. But the fact that this is not falling over or anything like that, that was the one thing I was concerned about with the fact that this came with an action base. That I thought that was the reason because this was going to be back heavy, but as you can tell, as you can see, it's not. It's very steady. So another big plus there. But yes, as I said, this is a very iconic kit because of a very iconic Gundam from, I would say, a semi-iconic anime. And for those who have seen Gundam Seed or Gundam Seed Destiny, it's, I would say, it's not a bad anime, but it's they've used a lot of the same scenes over and over again, especially during battles. So that's the only reason why I'm not a big fan of it. But other than that, though, the Perfect Grade Strike Freedom Gundam definitely is a really good kit. Now that this kit is fully assembled, I actually want to take this time to show the proper articulation. I did show some of that during the previous video where I give each part of this kit its own proper review, but now it's fully assembled, let's get straight to articulation. So I'm going to try to be careful with this because this is a big kit. I want to be sure it can be shown within the frame. So with the head, it can basically go 360 degrees quite easily. And with that, it can move forward and back, side to side. The arm can go all the way, if it can, if it wasn't, if the wings were not in the way, but still. It can extend out. Proper elbow bend. The hands can turn all the way. And these are all individual fingers. I can bend at each one of the finger joints. This can stick out for the shield, which I will show. I will attach the shield a bit later on, but the cockpit can still come out very easily. Well, just get a close-up look. So yep, Kira Yamato. Okay, the waist, this can go a little bit side to side. And it can turn around all the way if it wants to. I think I may have got caught here. That alone just felt like it was a little bit of a workout. Okay, now you can move the skirts up so you can have a proper leg bend. Fortunately, this is probably as far as the leg can raise up because the front skirt. And the proper knee bend. The foot can bend like so. Can go up, down, swivel, and try not to get that out. Yeah, this is quite one heck of a workout. Oop, this piece came off. There we go. Just gonna extend this out a little bit. And these can move ever so slightly. With the rail guns, it can extend out. And it seems like these are in the way a little bit. Okay. And then this little bit kind of weird around that position, but just because the wings were in the way. Of course, the back skirt can be lowered. That way these can be turned to the back. And you can get the gun and place it here, like so. And this is a little bit, there we go. And this is actually stuck now. There we go. Much better. Move that up. Oh wow, this is... The one thing about perfect grades, they can be a little bit heavy, so it might be hard to move a few things. Oops. There we go. Alright. Oh, and before I forget, these flaps back of the legs can actually stick out. Like so. Alright. So these thrusters can move on the backpack. The wings can move back and forward. It can extend out. So, I feel like this one is a little bit more flimsy than this side. But not just that, but the front ones can stand out. Yeah, this is this is actually kind of loose. Don't know why. So, and all these parts can extend. And you can do the same thing on the other side of the wings as well. And that's about it. For articulation. To really show just how big this is, let's do some side-by-side comparisons. So here's the perfect grade Strike Freedom with the Master Grade Imperial Justice. I'm sorry, Infinite Justice. And then the Infinite Justice is just a little bit back heavy, so it's kind of hard to stabilize. But yeah, this is what a Master Grade, a 1/100th scale, looks compared to a Perfect Grade 1/60th scale. However, with that being said, here is the Strike Freedom beside a Master Grade Sazabi. And the Master Grade Sazabi is actually, at least from what I've seen, definitely one of the bigger Master Grades there is. Still a 1/100 scale, but compared to the Infinite Justice, yeah, big difference between the Sazabi and the Infinite Justice. Put that aside. And here's beside the real grade Strike Freedom. And the real grades are usually 1/144th scale. And lastly, here's the Perfect Grade Strike Freedom with the previous model, so to speak, in the anime, the Perfect Grade Strike Gundam. For those who are fans of Gundam Seed, the Strike Gundam was the first Gundam piloted by Kira Yamato, whereas the Strike Freedom was the one that he piloted in the successor of Gundam Seed Destiny. So yeah, as you can tell, even though both of these are 1/60th scale, the Strike Freedom is actually just a hair taller than the Strike Gundam. And even by looking at these two side by side, a lot of differences too. Even like certain joints, like I can see that the arms here are just a tad thicker than the arms on the Strike Freedom. Maybe the legs are a little bit more stocky too on the Strike Gundam. Head, I would say, roughly the same size. But yeah, it's actually kind of nice to see the first Gundam and the last Gundam, so to speak, of what Kiro Yamato pilots. So very nice. And with that, that's the side-by-side comparisons. And to probably show you where to attach the action base, you gotta go all the way here underneath the backpack where my index finger is pointing. Just place this in here, in there. And here is the Strike Freedom Gundam attached to the action base. And unfortunately, the action base, along with the Strike Freedom, fortunately is a little bit too big for my turntable there. So just to give you a really good idea just how big this is, unfortunately this is, I'm going to try to zoom out a little bit. And I'm hoping I get everything in the frame. And still the wings on the left here, my left, still a bit droopy, so there might be a loose joint there. But other than that, though, just admit this is quite a widespread. I wish I had a tape measure here to have a good idea of just how many inches this is from wing to wing, fully spread out like this. I'm going to try to turn it around myself. I have a back view of it. But yeah, again, kind of wished this one over here, again, that joint might be a little bit loose somehow, but still though, nice spread, very, very nice spread. But it just goes to show that I need to get a bigger turntable for this one. But you cannot deny that this is, I wouldn't say angelic per se, but it has that look. If you know what I mean by that, when I mentioned angelic, you have a good idea what I'm talking about. To me, this is a reminiscent of the Wing Zero Gundam, but the custom, which is the Endless Waltz version. For those who are Gundam fans, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those who aren't, just watch Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, so you would know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so the one of the main Gundams inside that series is called the Wing Zero, and it has angel wings as its wings. And there's nothing like mechanical about it too. It just has that very angelic look to it. So this is quite similar to that. But still, though, I really do like how this spread is, because it really shows more the gold, like in the inner frame of the wings. And as I stated in the previous parts video, that I use metallic gold, so that really shows here. Definitely works well with everything else that is being shown. But yeah, it really does stand out. So yeah, this is a very, very nice look to it. Just want to quickly show you all that how to properly install the beam sabers. So, but first I want to show you that these beam sabers, I stated in the previous parts video, that they can combine like so. And of course, you can put the beam sabers on both ends, but you actually need to, in each one of these hands, there's a little slit here that can go in one of these holes here. So just make sure you align them just well. Can move that thumb out of the way. Oops. And when you got it, you can close the fingers like so. And of course, with some finagling, you can actually get the strike film to hold its beam rifle or combined beam rifle. I did show how to put these two rifles together. That'll be in the parts video. And I still feel bad that my turntable is just a bit too small for this kit. But it just goes to show that I need to get a bigger one. But just want to show off just a nice little 360-degree turn. But mainly I just want to show that this is pretty stable. Because one thing is, so only this hand is actually holding the handle, whereas this handle for this gun is actually folded inside. But still, though, I'm really happy that the figure is holding the rifle pretty good. It's pretty well. It's not falling off. Maybe it might be different if it was on the turntable, but I digress. But still, very nice indeed. And of course, to have various poses with this kit and have a little fun with it as well. Whether you can duel both beam sabers, you just cannon on the sides, those rail guns, or just let your imagination have its way. But yeah, good amount of accessories, good amount of posability, just for a solid kit. I decided to get with the action base so I can have a much proper 360-degree view of this kit. So you can actually see that the shield can be used on either arm gauntlets. Also, I decided to put the rifles on each of its side skirts, just to show an extra thing they can do with this kit, as I mentioned time and time before. But with that being said, I want to take this time to share my final thoughts. Basically the good, the bad, and everything else in between. So, start off with the good. The good is that this is just a solid kit. Pieces are not really falling off. It's pretty stable. I was kind of worried about it being back heavy, but it's wasn't back heavy. It did not fall down, not even once, and I was really happy with that. With that being said, it's quite proportioned. I don't think no piece was too big. I think everything was well organized, well constructed, properly engineered, properly manufactured. Just because, as I mentioned, it's not back heavy. So I think everything that comes with this kit actually works well. Just for that, every piece, it just kind of balances each other. So to me, that's a solid plus. No plus is the detail. There is a good amount of detail. Not too many paint lining, but I'm okay with that. But in terms of just even those like gold stickers on those dragoons, part of the wings, just one extra feature that I was astounded that it didn't need to be added to a perfect grade, but you know what? I'm kind of glad it did. Really good idea there, Bandai. Another plus is that the articulation is pretty well. When I showed earlier of the wing spread, it just shows just how big this kit really is. I mean, it's well aware that 160 scale are definitely the biggest scale for a Gunpla, but still, like that wing spread really shows just how big this kit really is, especially compared to all the other kits that I showed during the side-by-side comparisons. And one little good thing about this, and most perfect grades do have this, is that I really enjoy finger articulation. So the fact that these are not just molded in fingers or anything like that compared to like real grades or even master grades, the fact that each one of the fingers can individually move, I always enjoy that. And I know all the perfect grades does that, some master grades do that, but still I just enjoy that. Another plus, again, small one, it's the lights. I enjoy LEDs. And the fact that this kit came with an LED with it, and unfortunately you do need to buy the battery for it, is still one little nice thing to add there. And I think this kind of comes down to another good thing is just the look of it. The look of it is just astounding. Everything from what I just mentioned and the final look of it, fully assembled, it really stands out. So I'm really happy with that. Now, those are the positives. Here's some negatives. And there's a good number of it. For starters, is the size. Now, I didn't mention that the 160s is a bigger scale, but the thing about the size is that it can take up shelf space. Now, I personally I'm good with shelf space, and 160 scale kits never bother me. But then for those who are maybe have small shelves or want to put more kits on the shelves, a perfect grade is going to take up a lot of that space. So be warned on that. Another negative is the gold, well, the off gold, I guess you can say. I like the fact that it came with two types of glossy gold that came with the kit, but everything else I had to paint over, which I'm not a big fan of. Don't get me wrong, like some custom paints I'm cool with, but for perfect grade, I was hoping for all the entire inner frame to be shiny metallic gold. So the fact that I had to do that, is a little bit unfortunate. Another negative, which is a little bit of a bummer, is the price. Now, this is not the cheapest perfect grade that's out there. Also, I think it's not the most expensive one either. But with that being said, though, if you are willing to, spend an extra penny for a perfect grade, okay, be sure to add this to your collection. But this will be above the average price for perfect grade. Luckily for me, I was able to get a little bit of a deal on this one. But still, though, that doesn't make it, non-expensive in other areas. This is definitely an expensive kit, so just be warned on that. Non-negative, which is, for me, it's kind of nitpicky. I was hoping to have 2 energy shields instead of 1, so that way I can, so both arms can use an energy shield. Again, that's just a little bit nitpicky. Let's see. I want to say that might be it for the negatives. Oh, I remember one more. If you really want this kit, just be warned that it may be hard to find. Not only was I fortunate with the price, but I was also fortunate to even find this kit. This kit came in years ago, and I'll say almost 10 years now. Could be wrong. I know I mentioned the year in my first video. I just can't recall the moment. But in order to find this kit, will be a little bit rare. And in some websites, this kit is back ordered. Just because manufacturing this kit, I do not know if it has stopped or just slowed down. I know, a couple of years ago we had the pandemic, so a few things was hard to get. But now maybe it has changed. But a few websites I checked out not too long ago, for this kit particularly, they were back ordered. Some unfortunately were out of stock. But I still think it is possible to get this kit. It would be harder now. You can try eBay, but I think it might be best to try a regular site like Hobby Link Japan. Now, with all that being said, the final question is this a kit worth getting? So I'm going to break this down in a few areas. What I mean by that is, if you are a fan of Gunpla, if you are a fan of a challenge, if you are a fan of Gundam Seed or Gundam Seed Destiny, then yes, you can. I highly recommend you get this kit. Especially if you are a huge Gunpla hobbyist and you're always looking for just adding something to your collection or for a challenge build, yes, this is a kit worth getting. However, if you are just want to take your time, you're in no rush, and you like smaller builds because it takes less time to build, and even less time to customize in case you want to do that, then maybe this kit is not for you. So, bottom line is, I would say this kit is actually your own personal preference. Of course, my take would be yes, but at that same time, from the reasons that I just explained, I can understand why this kit may not be worth getting. Especially the fact that I mentioned before that you may need to spend an extra penny, and even if you're able to find this kit, again, it'll be some digging around in case you want to find this. But that's my take on it. Of course, you can decide whether or not if this is a kit worth getting based on what I just explained. Thank you all for watching. This has been a very fun kit to build and a very fun kit to review. It's been one that I've been waiting to do for a very long time, so I'm really glad that I finally got around to doing this. It was a kit I was been waiting to get for, I would say, several years, and when I finally got it, I just was just waiting for the day to really properly build this, to paint it, to just have fun with the entire experience. And in case you be able to get this kit, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So that being said, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more video updates. Be sure to comment down below of any opinions. They are my socials down below. There are two videos here. One's most recent, which is the individual parts video, where I did to take a much more detailed review of each part that comes with this kit, and one video here that YouTube picked out. So with that all being said, thank you again for watching, and until next time, keep on building.